morning, and welcome to another episode of Hard Factor. It is Thursday, October 17th. And before we get going, if you're in Austin, Texas, and you want to party with us on Halloween, make sure to go to the Eventbrite page. You can find it on our Twitter account and sign up to go to the East Side Tavern for a Halloween pregame happy hour with us. It's going to be fucking awesome.
I want to party with you.
Yes, you can RSVP now. We just updated it. You could see the event on the Eventbrite.
Let's be honest what happened. Mark created the event, and he didn't turn the
First time doing it.
RSVP function on.
Whoops.
Missed that tab.
But as of today, as of now,
That's right.
you can RSVP. You're a little hard out.
I was really confused why we had 0 RSVPs this close.
No
to
one
the
could
event.
RSVP yet.
It felt like high school all over again.
We got a few texts from Mark being like, no one's RSVP'd yet.
No one's going to the party.
We got this $150 Macho Man outfit, and no one's going to be there.
We all tried to send calming texts back to Mark. We'll figure it out, bud. We're going to figure it out.
Yeah, and we did figure it out. So go ahead and RSVP if you're going to be in town in Austin and want to party with us. Or if you are just going to be on the web, tune into the live stream. We're going to be streaming it. It'll be very, very fun.
By the way, guys, the rain hit last night for anyone that was disappointed in the length of our post-debate show. But apparently when it rains in Austin, Texas, the internet goes to shit. So apologies for that.
Yep. Doesn't rain much here. It's like when it snows in places like Austin, the whole city shuts down. The internet shuts down. Yeah.
Like a dust
We're
bowl.
revamping our whole stream game. It's going to be incredible next time.
Any other negative things to talk about to lead off the show?
I have a headache.
I got a rash.
Yeah.
It's all positive.
All right.
It's we're evolving. We're getting
There
we're
we go.
getting
Let's
better.
do the fucking news.
All right.
All right, let's do the news. Speaking of that, top stories. Pat is going to take us through a Trump date up front, and then Mark West now will take us through a news buffet of other headlines after that. Pat, get us going.
All right, guys. Trump easily had his biggest 24 hours in his history as president.
No.
Big time. This on his 1000th day as president. 1000th day.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's such a big day that I'm going to call it a mega Trump day. Let's start on Tuesday night, boys. A little visit to the White House by the parents of Harry Dunn, the 19-year-old British man who was killed on his motorcycle in England when he was struck by the wife of a U.S. diplomat, Anne Skoulas, while she was driving down the wrong side of the road.
No
Skolas?
Skoulas, something like that. Sakalous.
An American diplomat
wife.
drove down the wrong side of the road in England and killed.
Just murked a motorcyclist.
Yikes.
Yeah, Dunn's
Yeah, that
parents-
happened, yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. They were visiting the White House to convince Trump that Sakulis should face criminal charges in England. This after she fled the country with diplomatic immunity.
Well, it sounds like manslaughter and fleeing the scene.
Yeah, doesn't the steering wheel being on the other side of the car kind of hit you off as soon as you get in?
You know, Wes,
Have you ever driven over there, though?
No, but I've driven in countries that it is on
Where
the
you were on
opposite
the other
road.
side? Yeah.
But I mean,
I was always
Anguilla.
bad at it. I kept veering over to the American side,
In the
even
beginning,
though I'm on the wrong
yeah,
side.
in the beginning it was a little tough.
Sure,
'Cause
but
you
I
love
mean,
your country,
was
Will.
that the first
Yeah.
car she saw, that motorcycle? That was the very first car or vehicle she encountered?
Yeah, really.
Doesn't make much
Guys,
sense.
look,
Very first one she saw drunk.
Was it 3
No, I'm
a.m.?
drunk. There you go.
it's hard to drive over there, and that's evidenced by President Trump's comment, who said, you know, those are the opposite roads, and that happens.
We're on one side, you're on the other.
It's tough. The Get Her Done Donald had a surprise on the agenda for the Dunns when they sat down with the president. He let them know that the woman who manslaughtered her son was in the next room.
Oh, man.
Yeah, big time. Big time surprise.
So they came in to ask for prosecution, and then he was like, she's right next door.
He was essentially trying to get a hug it out going. That's what he
Yeah.
was trying to do.
We could talk this out.
Why don't you just hug it out?
He likes to do that. He was going to do that with Camp David with the other, the two groups. Who were they?
Yeah.
He was trying to fly in the guys.
No
No?
help here.
Well, I don't know. It was an extremely
No, he's
callous
trying to-
move, this
Trying to
one.
bring in the Taliban.
Taliban and the other.
Oh, right.
I hear you. I hear you, and your rapist is right next door. Let's talk it out.
He's a mediator, right. This is extremely callous, but you got to at least admire all business.
Yeah,
He was
so that
trying
was-
to get it done.
That was Tuesday night, guys. Let's take it to Wednesday morning. Approximately 7:30 a.m., President Trump responded to the Democratic debates that happened on Tuesday night with a tweet saying, a record economy would crash just like in 1929 if any of those clowns became our president.
Yeah, I thought the circus was canceled.
Yeah. Then, at 10:25 a.m., the president participated in an expanded bilateral meeting with the president of the Italian Republic in the East Room, and shit got weird. Donald drew some stark criticism on social media after building a wobbly bridge, saying that the U.S. and Italy have a, quote, shared political and cultural history because of ancient Rome. A lot of people left scratching their heads there. This was 2 days
I
after
can see where he's coming from with that one.
Yeah. Some people were saying because the founding fathers considered ancient Rome's government policies when they wrote the Constitution. And the bathhouses. I think that might have been Greece. Was that Rome or Greece?
Rome.
Yeah. Anyway, this was 2 days after the 527-year anniversary of Columbus arriving. Donald went on to say, "To me, it will always be called Columbus Day."
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
We know he's always going to be a Columbus Day guy. He's
All he was doing was lighting that fire up again. He just wants people to freak out about Indigenous Peoples Day again.
I
That's
kind
all
of
he's
see.
doing.
I kind of see his point with the ancient Rome thing, but it was just a bizarre way to word it. He kind of worded it saying essentially like we started at the same time. Our country being like 274 years old, Rome before Christ. Anyway, okay, let's take it to 3 o'clock, the afternoon, post lunch. The president met with congressional leadership in the cabinet room, and Democratic leaders walked out of a meeting at the White House. This is during a bipartisan discussion on Syria when apparently Donald Trump decided to take the train off the tracks. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, described Trump's performance as a, quote, meltdown. Yeah.
Well, what happened?
Well, the intensity of the meeting could have been fueled, guys, by the recent vote where the House overwhelmingly passed a bipartisan vote on a resolution opposing the Trump administration's troop withdrawal. So no one's happy about that.
No, we covered that. People are not happy.
So this was the meeting where he had to hear about it,
right?
And he did not want to. Pelosi also may have called it a meltdown in part because Donald called her, quote, a third-rate politician.
Ooh, that's like a D-list celebrity. That's like not even calling him a B or C-list. Third-rate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what caused the Dems to walk out of the meeting prematurely. During the meeting, guys, Donald bragged about his, quote, nasty letter that he sent to President Erdogan on October 9th. And I'm going to kick it over to Mark to read a couple quick excerpts from that letter.
Mr. President, let's work out a good deal. You don't want to be responsible for slaughtering thousands of people, and I don't want to be responsible for destroying the Turkish economy. And I will. Don't let the world down. You can make a great deal. History will look favorably if you get this done right and in the humane way. It will look upon you forever as the devil if good things don't happen. Don't be a tough guy. Don't be a fool. I will call you later. Okay, bye.
I'll call you
I
later.
love the I will call you later.
All right, have a good day.
Best part of it all.
Don't be a tough guy is a great shit talk. It's the original Hardo.
Yeah,
You know?
but and also to a Turkish man. Oh, yeah. He's already shirtless. He can't get any more shirtless, but he's angry.
Don't be a tough guy is something your uncle tells you when you're getting too big for your bridges. Don't be a fucking tough guy.
Yeah.
I love how I will call you later totally just takes the wind out of this being a threatening later.
It's like the guy from the Georgia, and then you get the dogs. When he's screaming about ripping off Spurrier's visor, that famous viral video, and then he's like, "All right, thanks, have a good day."
Thank you,
Yeah.
All right, guys. Also during the meeting, Trump called General Mattis, quote, the world's most overrated general.
Nice. That's a sick burn.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
Indicating that Mattis wasn't, quote, tough enough. He went on to say, I captured ISIS. Mattis said it would take 2 years. I captured them in 1 month.
Did he mean like the most overrated, like 4-star general?
No,
or
he just means just general.
Period?
Because
Okay.
I guess Mattis's name came up. They're not getting along. He's like, that guy's overrated.
Yeah.
Get him out of here. I will say this. So everyone said it was a meltdown except for House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy, who called the meeting productive and saying that Pelosi's behavior was unbecoming and that she stormed out.
This is I don't like this. Whenever Donald and Pelosi get into these like little hissy fits, each side is like, ooh, my person owns your person. They just like
They both had meltdowns, apparently. Yeah, right.
right.
Yeah.
I will say this: Donald did walk out of the talks that they were having about the government shutdown. So
true.
tit for tat.
Yeah.
Walk out on one side, walk out.
They
on the
need to
other.
just fuck and get their torrid love affair like over with already. Get all that sexual tension out of the room. You know.
God, I'd love to be Donald on that day.
Not me.
Just saying, Pelosi's got it. Let's take it to the internet, guys. Our commentator for the day is Donald J. Trump. He goes on to say, Nancy Pelosi needs help fast. There is either something wrong with her, quote, upstairs, or she just doesn't plain like our great country. She had a total meltdown in the White House today.
There it
It's
is.
very sad to watch. Pray for her. She's a very sick person.
She's a very sick person.
Pray
He was
for
on a
her.
heater.
Why are people catching on to his
Trump is on a heater.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And with Trump being on heaters like this, it's always an opportunity to make some cash on predicted if you think you know what's coming next. So let's talk impeachment odds. What's out there right now? Impeachment in 2019. It hit a 30-day high of 59 cents on September 29th, but it's fallen back to 41 cents. And if you've listened to us, you're probably going with the no on that one.
I got $100 and about 200 shares on no in 2019.
Yeah, that's 2019. Now let's go to first term impeachment. This one has moved up, but after we had tipped everybody to get in on it, it's all the way up to 72 cents that he will be impeached in his first term. So if you don't think that's going to happen, now's kind of a good time to hit on that no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then let's see. For the Senate removal, first term conviction, this is up to 22 cents.
Wow.
It peaked at 22 cents, which I don't think this is going to happen. So if that gets any higher, be looking to get the no on that, because
That's a reaction to Turkey, Syria, and his people talking shit about him, but that ain't going to happen.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
so-
a few of them that are really pissed off.
But keep in mind, so in the meeting today, the GOP leader came out in his defense. I mean, guys, keep in mind, like the Senate conviction means it's going to go through the House. He's going to get impeached, and the Senate's going to have a trial.
If you're
and he's gonna
voting
get
yes on
convicted.
the Senate, then you're thinking of something new that hasn't come out yet.
It's going to be
coming out.
fucking nuts.
Yeah.
If that were to happen, that's fucking nuts.
Right.
Right. Well, it'd be the first time ever. So I mean, precedent stands against that. Plus, McConnell's in charge. I don't see it.
But I will say this: it would have happened with Nixon, but Nixon had enough sense to resign. Trump will never resign. He's like a captain who will
Trump's
go
not
down with
gonna
the ship.
resign.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, yeah, and he's got a Republican Senate, and I don't know if Nixon did or not. And also a number of articles of impeachment. You can go right now. It's weird. The market, the two favorites are no articles or 5 or more at 29 and 26 cents. So the exact opposites are the favorites.
Nice.
But you might want to land somewhere in the middle for a nice low rate. If you want to get on this action, go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get your first $20 matched on us. It's totally legal in all 50 states, and you can get your money out at any time straight into your bank account. Easy peasy, really fun gambling site. Get in on it. Predict
It is.
There you go. All right, let's take it to the news buffet. Guess what, guys? Scientists have just discovered a new weather phenomenon that has been around for forever, but undiscovered, and they have given it a horrifying name, probably to scare the public that used to bully them at recess.
What's it called? Whether that's the only power they have. What's it
Yes.
called?
Well, what is it called, you ask? Ask it again.
Ice
What's
dildos.
it called? Ice dildos. Close. It's called...
These goddamn ice dillers are falling from the sky.
That would be terrifying. It's actually stormquakes.
Stormquakes.
Which is a seismic phenomenon that occurs in the seafloor, basically after effects of large storms like hurricanes, and they've been recorded. These stormquakes have been recorded as strong as magnitude 3.5 earthquakes. So we're calling them stormquakes, said Florida State University atmospheric scientist Wen-Yan Fan. Fan is the lead author of a new study about stormquakes. You might want to drop what you're doing and check that out.
Atmospheric scientist and masturbation expert Wen-Yan Fan.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. During a storm season, hurricanes or nor'easters transfer energy into the ocean as strong ocean waves, and the waves interact with solid earth, like the ocean floor, producing intense seismic source activity, Fan said. But it's the last thing you need to worry about.
That's
for
good.
Stormquakes. Well, then why the fuck did you call it stormquakes if it's the last thing we need to worry about?
Pull
And
this guy's funding.
And is a 3.5 like nothing? That's just what it's been so far.
Well-
apparently they aren't that strong now, but that doesn't mean they won't be forever.
Yeah, they burn that name on a weak ass thing.
I think by the time hurricanes become strong enough for those things to matter, we're all fucked anyway.
Maybe. What you got, Will?
This is kind of like volcano lightning. I like it when like natural disasters team up to make like greater natural disasters. And this is a big argument against reducing carbon emissions, because if you did, you probably would have less awesome natural disasters like teaming up like this.
You're right. You're absolutely right, Will. That's a good point. There's always a sunny side to a negative. and
I
that's
feel like we're
that's
close
sick
to
natural
making
disasters.
Godzilla, you know?
I thought Will was going to go with the aliens are pissed off when the storms are going overhead from the ocean floor. They're sending their own reverberations.
Oh, it's
But
possible
I don't-
too.
I also hate these new terms for weather that seem to pop up once a year, like cyclone bombs or bomb cyclones. And then there was one when like the earth was too hot and it cracked the asphalt, called like earth crackling or something.
Or El Nino.
Yeah, El Nino.
Yeah, or El Nino. Come
I
on, with
liked
these
the
names.
boy. I liked the boy.
The boy. Yeah.
El Nino.
It's
I like when
Spanish
Chris
for
Farley
Nino.
dressed up as El Nino.
It's Spanish for the Nino. And I want Holyfield at Somerset. Researchers found evidence of more than 10,000 stormquakes between 2006 and 2019 in places like offshore of New England, offshore Florida, in the Gulf of Mexico, and the USA, all across it, as well as offshore of Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and British Columbia in Canada, where we just were. One example is Hurricane Bill, an Atlantic storm in 2009 that strengthened into a Cat 4 hurricane, struck Newfoundland as a tropical storm, and when the hurricane arrived on shore,
numerous seismic events followed it off of New England and Nova Scotia, and no one knew what the fuck was going on. Guess what, guys? It was stormquakes, if you remember back then, if you're listening from that area.
Hurricane Bill sounds like a drinker.
Yeah, no shit.
I might get a storm.
Hurricane Bill sounds like everyone's uncle.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, according to Fan, there's still a lot more to learn about stormquakes, even though he's discrediting their danger. So fuck off, Fan.
So is this storm popping the clutch or not?
It could be.
It could be. It's on the verge of
We
popping
don't
the
know
clutch.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah. At one point, it could just really fucking open up the grounds and just
P the C.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully not.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Let's take it over to a Dutch cellar. So there was a very solitary man living in a farmhouse in the northeastern Dutch province of Drenthe.
This is gonna be like a fucked up fairy tale.
Yeah, definitely is. This man was so standoffish and solitary, and the only thing that the neighbors knew about him was that he spoke German. So they gave him the nickname the Austrian. So nobody even really knew his name. And they said that if you even stepped on his property, he'd come out of the farmhouse and shoo you away because he just stood there looking out the windows with binoculars at all times a day.
He likes a good perimeter.
Shoo.
I respect that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really protect this house. He was a handyman by trade, and everybody assumed he lived there alone. That is until one of the 6 kids he kept in the basement escaped and ran to a local bar. This is a 25-year-old, well, not a kid, a man. This is a 25-year-old man. The first time he escaped, he went to the bar and drank 5 beers back-to-back by himself, but then left. And then 10 days later, the second time he escaped, he came back and he confided in the bar owner what was going on at home, which was his 58-year-old bedridden father and 6 of the grown adult children, including himself, were being held hostage in a secret basement by the Austrian for 9+ years, and he never allowed them to go to school or be in public or anything like that. So the bar owners called the cops, and now, thankfully, the Austrian and maybe potentially the dad are probably detained by the Dutch police, and hopefully letting those kids smoke weed and go shopping for the first time ever.
They have so much TV to catch up on.
I like how the kid ran straight to the bar and started pounding beers.
Wouldn't you? I mean, he needed a drink.
That's a thirst.
9+ years, and he was the oldest.
That's a commitment to the game. Why didn't anyone say, man, this single guy makes a lot of trash? No one thought about that.
I bet he didn't. He probably was starving him out.
Buried it.
Yeah, that's true. Burned it.
Also, I don't really want to get into it.
Yeah,
but
exactly. You're on the same
Are
track.
there grandchildren?
Mm-hmm.
Well, also, nobody knows where the mom is.
Is that what you were
That
thinking?
one Austrian guy.
Yeah,
Remember that
I mean,
one?
well, there's 6 kids,
Yeah.
and then they're 25. Do they have any, 2-year-olds?
Well, where's the mom?
Any women in there?
The mom would be the sisters.
Right, but the bedridden dad. So
Right.
okay,
No,
the
they killed
bedridden.
her.
Yeah. There's lots of loose ends here.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Austrian is
holes.
not cooperating with police. Surprise,
Oh,
surprise.
The Austrian's not cooperating.
So we don't know all the facts yet. But
Oh, my
What's with
God.
those Austrians?
That's
Keep
dark.
at least they're out of the house. At least they're out of the house.
Stormquake that house.
All right. All right, moving on, guys. Kim Jong Un is back in the news today, and it's not for the reasons you might think. No, it seems the little guy made headlines for taking a horseback ride to the top of a very special mountain, Mount Paektu, which is the highest point on the Korean peninsula and is an active volcano. It is also sacred to many Koreans, as it is the birthplace of Dangun, a made-up bullshit character said to have formed the first Korean kingdom 4,000 years ago.
You don't know that's bullshit.
Of course I do. Of course, Kim is telling his followers that he rode the whole way on his beautiful white steed, his little fat legs clutching to the side of the horse for dear life.
Yeah, he got halfway up the mountain.
Yeah, no, he
He
rode
got out of sight.
He was in
He
a Range
was on the
Rover.
horse for
Yeah, he was
as
on a
long as
Range-
it
he was
took
in
to
a
take
Range
the
Rover.
pictures, and that's it.
They lowered him and the horse down from a helicopter.
Yeah. I mean, watching them push his pudgy ass on top of the horse must have been funny. The mountain is basically a tool for propaganda, as the Kim dynasty has managed to intertwine themselves into the lure of the mountain and Dangun. It is said that Kim Jong-il, Kim's father, was born there.
Out of Dangun's anus.
Yeah, exactly. Some think this bullshit trek is a sign of a big announcement, and the official report by those that were there to witness the great event said, having witnessed the great moments of this top of Mount Paektu, all the officials accompanying him were convinced with overflowing emotion and joy that there will be a great operation to strike the world with wonder again and make a step forward in the Korean Revolution.
Like, we're all getting iPhones.
The Korean Revolution.
He's going to fire more shitty missiles and starve his people more, is my hunch.
Nothing new is happening.
You're
there.
still hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
More
So-
piranha tanks on the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the pictures were nice and they were impressive.
Just a little more sacrifice.
Nice mountain. Too bad no one's allowed
If
to
I
go
was
up
in
it.
North Korea and I saw him, I'd be like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. All right, guys. Former Three's Company star, Thigh Master spokesperson, and all-around sex symbol of a different time, wanted to show everyone she still had it by getting down to her birthday suit on her 73rd birthday. That's right. On Wednesday, the now 73-year-old Suzanne Somers shared a photo of herself fully nude, covering up her no-nos in an outdoor shot in some tall grass with flowers behind her, like wildflowers.
Yeah, very 70s.
Yeah,
looking.
exactly. This isn't the first time Summers has shared a risque photo on social media, like Instagram and Facebook, as she did that back in April, where she was nude in her outdoor bathtub, again with the wildflowers in the background. She's big into the nudity and her, like, Arizona or wherever it is backdrop with the flowers.
Hold on a
She's always
second.
covering up her unmentionables, though.
Follow Suzanne Somers.
Yeah. Both of these pictures, the one this week and the one in April, drew some mixed reactions from the internet, to say the least. So I'll read you some from both sides. Suzanne, I hate to say this, but I don't think that picture is tastefully done. It looks gross, one person said. Another person said, I'm an extremely open-minded woman. So that's like I'm not going to lie. You just start off saying that you're not open-minded.
I'm not a racist,
Yeah,
but
I'm an extremely open-minded woman, but this photo is lacking class.
Right.
And then a third person said, Suzanne just don't look good anymore to flaunt, good enough anymore to flaunt yourself in her old B-Day suit. Sorry, Susie, but you're too old for this. Show some class if you can find it, and put on a T-shirt and jeans. Now the other side, yeah, a bunch
Haters,
of assholes.
yeah.
Haters.
Well, she's like squatting in the. It's barely worse than a revealing dress.
It's not very risque.
It's not that risky.
why don't you do something classy, like put on an untucked T-shirt and some jeans?
My theory is those three people just wish she looked as good as she did in like the 80s and 90s.
Yep. We all wish
Yeah,
that.
Kathleen on the other side says, Suzanne, I hope I look that good at 73. I am 59 years old and you still have me beat. Thanks for the inspiration and happy birthday. And the wood carver says, for those of you that think she's too old, my wife and I just had our 53rd wedding anniversary. She's 73. Her birthday suit may not fit as well as it did 53 years ago, but I still love to see her in it.
What a
The
man.
wood carver.
I agree with the wood carver, baby.
The wood carver's the man.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
I agree with the wood carver. I could drink a beer with the wood carver. The pictures aren't that tasteless, but more importantly, this whole story got me to thinking about Suzanne Somers' Thigh Master days, and let's just say it's a fond memory that should have stuck with me longer. Get it? Sticky.
Oh, you're talking.
She was the Thigh Master, and I was the quickly jerk off in the 30-minute window I had between getting home from school and when my mom came from home from work master.
Yeah,
Those
you
Thigh
were the
Master
master of
commercials
that.
Couple
were great.
masters. I was the B master. Master B. And anyways, we're gonna put an old Suzanne.
Can't talk now. Got
I'm
got a small window.
running off the school bus.
Why were you late today?
Mark, you dropped something.
Why'd you come home from work early?
Leave it.
Wasn't much traffic. Anyways, we were gonna put an old Suzanne Somers pickup on the blog for you guys to see because she was something else. And no matter what side of the fence you are on for the Somers nude pics, one way to for sure look classy, regardless of your age or other wardrobe choices, is by slapping on a nice movement watch and a nice pair of movement Everscroll glasses. I have both, and I love them both. By now, most of you probably know about their incredible watches, of which they have about 100 different varieties, starting under $100 each. They've sold well over 2 million of those in over 160 countries. They also have very slick sunglasses, and my personal favorite, Everscroll blue light filtering out glasses that start at just $65. Not only do they look great and make you the clear-cut, most feared person at bar trivia night, but they also filter out blue light from computer screens and help promote sound sleep, better focus, better sleep, better style. Get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/factor. Shop Movement Everscroll blue light filtering glasses. Protect your eyes and look great doing it. Go to mvmt.com/factor and join the movement.
Love that.
You're gonna want that 15% off. Movement stuff is the shit. All right.
Yes.
Let's move on to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. At about 11 p.m. on Tuesday night in Charlotte, North Carolina, over 300 chimney swifts, which is a type of small bird, suddenly flew into the glass front of the NASCAR Hall of Fame, brutally injuring or killing themselves for the most part.
That's not good.
Yeah, not good at all. Apparently, the birds who didn't die even tried to get up and fly into the glass again. So it's like a mass suicide of chimney swifts.
That would scare the shit out of you. You gotta wonder what's coming.
You're like, this is a movie, right?
I got
This is a movie set, right?
If I'm working at NASCAR,
I see 100 birds die. I'm like, what's behind them?
I'm resigning
You're just
immediately.
looking around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sky's
it's
purple.
Yeah.
super scary.
Sir, I can no longer work here at NASCAR until we figure out what the birds wanted.
Yeah.
Right, you got to assume the building is cursed or something.
They all flew out of the Austrian's house.
They let out the Austrian. About 100 of these swifts are still alive, but in a quote-unquote shocked state and need to be nursed back to health by the local shelter. No word on what they were running from, though. Maybe it was the Stormquakes.
Could have been the Stormquakes. We need to figure out what it was.
I hope those birds can get nursed back to health and tell their story.
It's just like an airborne disease that they can see.
They are really cute birds, actually. There's pictures of the people
They
trying
were.
to nurse them back. No, the ones that are still alive, they're like shocked. Makes them even cuter. It's funny.
I love a shocked animal.
Will's a big bird guy. He was pointing out all kinds of birds to me in Vancouver. It was
yeah.
beautiful. Stellar's Jay was my favorite, I believe.
Stellar's Jay is a nice
What was
one.
the giant bird that he poo-pooed? Like, that's not night herring.
yeah, well,
oh,
a
that
night
night
herring,
herring's not that
herring.
big. I see night herrings 3 times a
There's
week.
a fucking dinosaur on a roof.
There's a 7-foot bird on top of a roof next door to us, just like the biggest bird I've ever seen in my life.
He's like, what?
And he's like, that's nothing.
Why are you impressed by that?
That thing was 3 feet tall. Mark's not very good at identifying the height of birds.
Okay.
Biggest bird I've seen on a roof.
Yeah.
All right, in more news from Korea, Kim Jong Un's favorite and the world's largest child porn site has been shut down from the dark net. That's the same as dark web, right, Pat?
That's the same as a dark web.
Okay. Anyway, the site was run by a 6th South Korean national, and he, along with 337 users worldwide, have been taken down and arrested. The site called Welcome to Video was run out of South Korea, and Justice Department agents seized 8 terabytes of child porn from the server.
Terabytes?
Terabytes.
Oh my god.
That's
That's a
337.
creepy name, too.
That's not the group you want to be involved in.
You know, yeah, and this child porn is like serious fucking child porn.
It's the worst.
It's bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Although,
child porn is
although
bad. I don't know.
if you were one of the cops, this has got to be one of the most satisfying days ever to just knock these dudes on their asses and then walk out with their servers right in front of their faces.
Yeah.
That's got to be.
Wes, yes,
Got to
of
feel
course,
pretty good.
All of it is the worst. I guess what I'm saying is most people don't understand
Great
how bad
bust.
it can
How
actually
bad it
get.
is.
Yeah.
An absolute great bust. A lot cooler than like when you seize 100 pounds of weed type bust.
Right. All time having some beers and feeling real good after that bust.
Yeah. So apparently these people would pay for the content with Bitcoin. That's how they would keep themselves secretive. Also, 23 minors who were being abused by the site's users were also rescued, so that's good. And, I mean, I don't even think they should waste any time with these fuckers. If
Kill
they
'em.
don't get to just throw in a pit of crocodiles.
Fucking kill him.
Yeah. No
Send him to Kim Jong Un for the piranha tanks.
Yep.
Yeah, piranha tanks.
Kill these pieces of shit.
I agree. No, I don't want to pay for them to be fed and alive in prison. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Remember what Will said at the beginning of the show. Our Eventbrite invitation RSVP tab is now active, so you can RSVP to our event on October 31st at the East Side Tavern in Austin. Come out and party with us. And then we're gonna dress up, get drunk, and we'll have some
Best costume wins a prize. We'll have
That's
other
right.
contests too.
drink specials, some laughs. It'll be fun.
Competitions galore, prizes galore, drinks galore, laughs galore. It's a galore fest.
Yeah. Also, we will be in New York City next week, ingratiating ourselves into the shows up there. So we'll keep you updated on which shows you can find us on outside of this regular podcast. And hey, we've gotten a lot of DMs asking for stickers with people that have also bought shirts. So keep those coming. We love those. We really appreciate it. Follow us at Hard Factor News on Twitter and Instagram. Share the pod with a friend, and most importantly, have a great fucking day.